Sure. I'm Ankit Agarwal. I'm the director of the telecom business at Sterlite Technologies. Sterlite Technologies is part of the broader Vedanta group and listed in the Indian stock exchanges with market cap of about 3,500 crores. And Sterlite Technologies is the leading player, leading digital infrastructure provider in the country. And our aim is to transform lives by delivering smarter networks. So I think firstly, big congratulations to Cyber Media for organizing this event. Telecom Leadership Forum is a great event every year, and it's only getting better every year. Really have clearly the best thought leaders from the industry out here, not only talking about where they stand today, but also where things are going forward. And today, clearly the theme was, where does the country move towards 2020? What kind of network we build up? So in terms of the takeaways, I think clearly we have a good mix of views today from government side, operator side, digital providers, both on the fixed line, wireless, as well as on the satellite side. We also had an operator, a Russian operator as well. So we got a good mix of what is happening with the network today, where do we stand, what are the challenges, but also more importantly, where do we go from here in the next 3 to 4 years? What role does the private sector play? What are the roles that the government plays? And how do we work together to really transform and take the Prime Minister's vision of Digital India forward? So just to give a background, Sterlite has now evolved from just providing the fiber and cables to doing a large-scale network deployment. We're already present in more than 80 countries with our products and solutions. And that gives us a very interesting perspective of what are the best types of networks that the operators are deploying, not only in countries in Africa, but also in tier 1 countries like in the US, Canada, etc. We've been very actively also looking at how do we bring some of those technologies and learnings into India, and how do we build that into the Digital India platform that the government wants to implement. So we're working with the government both at central, state level, but also with the plan around the 100 smart cities. And clearly the fiber network which needs to be built is at the core of that. And we're very excited by seeing the push that is coming from the states to build their fiber network and also to build the smarter cities at a very fast pace going forward. Absolutely. So I think if you see the mobile penetration in rural India today, it still stands at about 30 to 40%. And clearly that has to move very quickly towards 80-90% or more in the next few years. I think from Sterlite perspective, we're working very closely on government's project of BharatNet, where clearly 250,000 panchayats have to be connected. So we're working closely to look at what are the best models to implement that at the fast pace. There is a target of 100,000 villages by March, but still 150,000 villages also need to be connected within 2 to 3 years time frame. So how can the private sector participate to build out these networks with the government is a key part of where we are focusing. At the same time, we're seeing that the technologies have to be a mix of wired and wireless, if it includes Wi-Fi at the Gram Panchayat level, etc. But we're also working with the government to look at what are the best practices globally and then see what we can use some of those technologies to deploy high-speed broadband in rural India.